Hello guys, I am V Sai Srinivas of 10th class from MacMan. So today I will be explaining today's editorial. So let's get started. Today our editorial's title is Mumbai cannot manage its flooding without a new deal for drainage and housing. The revival of the monsoon has overwhelmed Mumbai and its suburbs once again, paralyzing life, disrupting drinking water supplies, and exposing the parlous state of its infrastructure. It is clear that the volume and duration of monsoonal rain are turning unpredictable, and intermittent torrents with crippling impacts on cities will become more frequent, influenced by a warming climate. Strengthening that theory, three weather stations in Mumbai recorded a staggering level of rainfall in 1 week. From July 13, ranging from 628 millimeters in Mahalakshmi to 958.5 millimeters in Santa Cruz, the latter experiencing a peak of 234.9 millimeter on July 18. The inundation has taken a toll of at least 32 lives, and the majority of victims died in landslides that crushed their slum houses. So guys, we know that recently the monsoons have started and heavy rains were occurring all over India. If you take Mumbai, in Mumbai the rain is very high. Because of that, flooding has occurred. It is clear that Mumbai requires a new drainage system and new housing system because its current infrastructure is unable to manage flooding. This heavy rains affected the drinking water supplies and also the lives of many people. Because of these heavy rains, landslides are occurring at different locations, and more than 32 lives have been lost in such landslides. So the average rainfall levels are increasing and increasing. On July 13, it was recorded as 628 millimeters, and it was recorded as 958.5 millimeter in Santa Cruz. It experienced a peak rainfall of 239.4 millimeter on June 18. In Mumbai, three weather stations recorded these rainfall levels. If we go further, these deaths of despair recur almost every year, soon to be forgotten in the fair weather in a city that prides itself on its enterprise and resilience. In the second year of the COVID-19 pandemic, the monsoon malady poses a double jeopardy, adding to the economic misery of the vulnerable who live in hovels in suburban landslide-prone locations. Such dire conditions stand in contrast to Maharashtra's keen desire to keep Mumbai as the country's pre-eminent financial metropolis. The limitations in its infrastructure to accommodate intense monsoons and its notorious inability to provide affordable inner city housing to the less affluent and even the middle class are making other cities look more attractive. So all these deaths mean nothing because after some time these deaths will become meaningless and everyone will forget. So Mumbai is a city where the enterprise and resilience are very great. In the second year of the pandemic, the problems caused by monsoon are a huge threat because they add economic misery to the people who live in landslide prone locations, like they don't have enough on their plate already to deal with. In such pathetic conditions, uh, all the things that are happening are are against the desire of Maharashtra to keep Mumbai as the preeminent financial metropolis in the whole India. It have many limitations in its infrastructure. It is unable to provide accommodation to poor and middle class people during intense monsoons. Because of this, other cities are looking more attractive to the people. The catastrophic floods in Mumbai and Chennai in 2005 and 2015 respectively resulted in the emergence of a management plan drawn up by the National Disaster Management Authority and later the first dedicated storm water drainage manual by the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. By such initiatives can do a little if states which have both power and responsibility over cities' affairs do not feel compelled to address the challenges posed by urbanization. In fact, Mumbai's inability to manage recurrent floods and the needs of a massive slum population was heightened by a fact-finding committee appointed by the Maharashtra government after the 2005 deluge, with calls to liberate the city's rivers and lakes from various impediments, enable perennial flow in the Miti River, create fresh holding lakes for excess waters, and rehabilitate those who live in risky locations. The destructive floods that have been caused in Mumbai and Chennai in the years of 2005 and 2015 were unforgettable. Because of that, the National Disaster Management had to come up with a management plan that can be used in such situations. The authority dedicated the storm water drainage manual from the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. But if the state government doesn't take necessary precautions, such initiatives are useless. They will only help a less group of people. The state governments must be willing to do this, and they have to express the consequences of massive urbanization. The Mumbai's inability to manage the floods and also satiate the needs of slum population is increased because of one thing, that is the problem with the government to act. If they are fast to act, all of this could have been avoided. In 2005, the Maharashtra government wanted to liberate the city's rivers and lakes from various dams and constructions so that they could enable the continuous flow of the Miti River, and because of that all the lakes and ponds can be replenished, and it also provide rehabilitation to those who are living in risky locations that prone to landslides.